Today, we're joined by Jean-François Kacou. He's the leader of Futur Montréal, and he too wants to be mayor of this city. Mr. Kacou, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me, Mr. Makos.
Now, maybe this is a very Montreal story. You were supposed to be in studio this morning, but you are just stuck in traffic. And you want to tell our listeners, well, where's the traffic that you're stuck in right now?
I was stuck in de Maisonneuve, and it was stuck also in Notre Dame. And suddenly, in the middle of de Maisonneuve, they just blocked the street. They just put a panel saying rue barrée, détour obligatoire. So we had. I was just turning around in the blocks.
So I guess we should start off with mobility, with how Montrealers get around. What are you going to do to fix what you faced this morning?
First of all, what we said with Futur Montréal, we acknowledge the fact that Montrealers need all means of transportation, but we need more clean roads, and we need also more roads where we can move towards the city, through the city. So first of all, what we said is that we want to increase our bus network in Montreal. We want Montreal to have the best bus network in the world, more reserve lane, and also more reserve lane for buses and for shared vehicles. Our strategy with this action is to reduce the number of solo vehicles on the streets, because we realize that when we have buses, people who don't need their car leave their car to take the bus. So that will reduce the pressure. And also, what we want to do, all the bike lanes on commercial arteries, we're gonna freeze the construction on bike lanes on commercial arteries to put them in less traffic area and less density also places.
Let me ask you this, because your party is named Futur Montréal, right? You know, that is forward looking. You're talking about the future of the city. But I do find it interesting, right, that you announced that freeze on the construction of new bike lanes. You just brought up how you want to reduce the number of single user car trips, and so much of the cars on the road, it's just one person in there. To me, it would seem like more, a better bike network would help that solo driver ditch their car and get on a bike. Isn't there a contradiction?
No. I'm sorry, what?
Isn't there a contradiction there?
No, we don't think so, because we are in North America, and 8 months of the year we have temperature like crazy. So we see, for example, that people don't use their bikes during winter. And we think that the best mobility means of transportation in Montreal, in a city like Montreal, should be the bus and should be shared vehicle. So this is where we have to put our focus. And we didn't say that we will freeze all construction of bike paths. We said that we will freeze the construction on bike paths on commercial arteries and high traffic lanes. And we will put the bike paths behind those lanes in parallel streets, behind commerce, and also into parks, and has a solution of last kilometers. So we are for bike lanes, but we want to better plan them. And we think that the better means of transportation in a city like Montreal should be the bus and shared vehicle, because we know that Montrealers also need their cars for to go out the city. Some people need their car because they're living outside. They're living in Montreal, but they're working outside of Montreal. Professional of construction need also their car. Pregnant women need their car. Big families need their car. So we have to think mobility solution for everyone.
Let me ask you, because Projet Montréal is also promising a very big push for buses as well. So both of you have buses on the forefront here. How do you differentiate yourself from the other parties? What do you think sets you apart from, Projet Montréal and Ensemble Montréal?
Well, first of all, when we announced our buses policy, Projet Montréal did not push for this mean of mobility. We saw that they announced these express buses, but we were the first one to push for it. And the second thing is that we have a structured measure. The first one is that we will freeze all the fares of transportation in Montreal for 4 years to give some rest to the user, and also to the faire nos preuves towards the user. The second one is that we will push more reserve lane to have those buses. The third one is that we will invest in our local economy, because at the end we want a 100% electric network of buses. But the thing that is very interesting with Futur Montréal is that our strategy is to push towards the electrification of our fleet with a strategy that is called Énergie Montréal. So when Projet Montréal comes out and say that they want an express bus, but they don't have the infrastructure and the strategy to put a real electric fleet, this is where we differentiate ourselves, and this is where we think electors will see that our plan was thought through and not a political opportunity.
One last thing on getting around town, because it does seem to be a big topic for Montrealers in this election. Your party is committed to the Cavendish extension. So let me just ask you, what is your vision for that Cavendish extension? What when you say you're in favor of it, what exactly do you mean?
We mean that we're going to start from day one by putting a team that will enforce, and I mean enforce, the project. Because for what we hear, the project has been approved by the BAP, and now we need political will and administrative will. We have the political will in Futur Montréal, and we will put in place the administrative will by putting in place a task force that we will start from day one working on the project. And I mean working on the project. Finalize, first of all, the design of the extension. We said that we want two lanes for cars and 1 lane for buses and shared cars. That was our first proposal. We won't put any bike lanes on that, because the solution there is to c'est pour décongestionner. So we need also a vehicle to pass through that. The second one is that we need the money to build the extension, because everybody is saying that they want to build the Cavendish extension, but nobody is saying how they will pay for it. And we know for a fact that next year the city will go through a potential deficit of $200 million. So politicians will say, okay, we're going to build the Cavendish extension, and when we have to start, they will say that, we have no money to build it. So what we said during our conference at the Chambre de Commerce de Saint-Laurent, we said that we will build the Cavendish extension with public or private money. So if we don't have any money, we will go and look for investors, because we have several business cases throughout Quebec, throughout Canada, and even in Montreal, where private investor can go in a mix, and we can have public-private investment to build such an extension.
Interesting proposal there.
This is our plan for Cavendish extension.
An interesting proposal on the public and private aspect of that. Okay, let me talk about a few more issues with you that are top of mind. I want to talk to you about public safety, okay? Yeah. Whether it's encampments, many people say that, they feel their families aren't as safe as they used to because of encampments, or safe drug use sites, or various other things, right? Protests in the streets. How would you approach as mayor public safety?
We have, I think in this matter of public safety, it's important to distinguish, let's say, encampments, homelessness, and opioid crisis that we have on our street. So let's first of all talk about homelessness. And our strategy regarding homelessness is to create the social intervention service of the city of Montreal that will collaborate with more than 60 organizations towards the city that are intervening on homelessness. The objective of the social intervention service will be to create the metropolitan file on homelessness, where we can now having a file for every person that is experiencing homelessness, where they are coming from, what are their traumas, what they're running from, what are their needs in the moment, and what they want to accomplish. Because what we realize is that a lot of people that are experiencing homelessness don't want the street, and they want to stay in the street, but some of those people also want to leave the street, but are in search of means that will help them go out the street. So by having this information, first of all, it will facilitate the intervention of the agent what they're having a situation with a person experiencing homelessness. Also, it would facilitate the work of the police officer when they are having an intervention with a person experiencing homelessness. But also, it will help us distinguish the person that wants to stay in the street and the person that don't want to stay in the street. And then we want to create two types of zones. First of all, that will be the zone of transition, where we can have old factory places that we will renovate, and where we can displace the encampment there and put all the services that those people, those Montrealers need, such as supervised clinic, injection supervised clinic, sanitary, healthcare, psychosocial intervention, and then they can be at peace, but they will still going through what they want to do because they need those services to keep on going. And the other type of zone that we want to create are much more like reinsertion zone, where we want to construct social houses that will give permanent residency to Montrealers experiencing homelessness, and putting also activities to reinsert themselves. That could be starting a small project. That could be having a discussion with social, psychosocial intervention. But at the end of the day, all our measure will be outside the residential area, because we think that we need, first of all, to tend to those Montrealers that are experiencing homelessness, and also reinsert the ones that want to go out of the street by giving them all the means that the city can give them.
Monsieur
so
Kacou,
that will be our strategy regarding homelessness first.
Monsieur Kacou, I have about a minute left here. I'll give you about one more minute here to talk to our listeners. And I just want to ask you about housing, on how you will succeed on building more homes, more housing, when we've seen the failures of the Futur Montréal administration over the last 8 years. How do you succeed where others have failed?
Okay, so we want an integrated strategy. First of all, we want to anticipate on the market. Montreal, with all the the economic intelligence tool, can map the market that is coming forward here, and then identify easily the vulnerable clientele. And then we want to replace the municipal bylaw 2020 by relevance, a levy on luxury houses, except family housing, to create a fund that will invest directly in non-profit that are building affordable houses. Because what we know in this matter is that a non-profit that are the real mandate to build affordable houses, it's very difficult for them to have the money from the banks and from the provincial projects. So this is where we want to tackle the issue, because there is behind the housing crisis an affordability crisis. And then that's why we want to invest in a nonprofit that will build houses in Montreal. And the third one, we want to create a public investment fund, private public investment fund, with the government of Quebec, the city of Montreal, and impact investors to build more co-op houses, and also renovated the infrastructure in the city of Montreal. Because if we don't intervene also on our infrastructure, that will, at the end of the day, raise the taxes and then come back on raising the rent for Montrealers. So that would be our strategy in 1 minute.
Monsieur Kacou, I wish you continued success on the campaign trail, and I do want to thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Makos.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.